Hi, everybody. I'm Coach Rebecca Smith, the founder and director of Complete Performance Coaching. And today I'm going to talk about what causes an athlete to lose their confidence. And this comes about because typically athletes I talk to are those kids who are used to getting medals. They're used to being on the podium. They're used to winning games. They're used to being the best kid on their team. They are, by all accounts, talented. And I don't love the word talented, but I'm not going to go into that today. But what I'm going to say is, typically these are the kids who have a lot of physical potential, that they're great. And at 10 years old, they are like, whatever sport they're playing, they are just aggressive and they work really hard and they get new skills and they follow directions and they're like the most coachable kid. And then something happens around that sort of adolescent age range where they are just not the same athlete. That something happens where they sort of lose their confidence. So I want to give you the top 4 reasons why this would happen to an athlete, and then what you can do about it. So the first one, I always used to call this the Adam and Eve moment. Like the Bible story goes that everything's fine and we're here in this place we're not supposed to be, and everything's great until, like, oh my gosh, here we are naked. Anyway, weird story. I'm sure, I don't know. But it's like that, like where you suddenly are like, oh my gosh, everything has changed. I feel like at around age maybe 11, 12, it's like kids get mortal. They are fearless. They will, I used to play soccer and I was like this little attack dog and was like, I wasn't big. But I was like so aggressive. And when I would just get in there and get the ball, and like, I loved it. I loved getting in there. And then, this thing happens for athletes where you all of a sudden like pass the ball, or all of a sudden you were going for all these big skills, but you're like, whoa, I feel like I need a spot. I don't know that I can do it right now. And it's like your aggressiveness leaves. And it's because like one of those reasons why you lose your confidence is it's almost like you get in touch with your mortality, that you're like, oh, everything has changed. Oh my gosh, I could die. Like I could get run over by these big kids, or I could fall off this beam, or I could fall on this ice, or whatever your sport is. And that physical fear can start to override confidence. The way I look at it, fear and confidence are opposites. So when fear is up, confidence is down, and vice versa. So if you have fear rising in you for some reason, then you'll notice that your confidence is dipping. And this could happen because maybe you saw somebody get hurt. Maybe you get hurt yourself. When I was playing soccer, I played in this dads against daughters soccer game. And I played like I was playing against 12-year-olds. And I like rush attacked this giant dad and ended up in tears with ice on my knee. And I was like, I don't like playing against big people. I like when I can just knock them over. So maybe something happens where you actually get hurt, or, you're doing a skill and you feel totally invincible and then you fall, or you watch a friend fall, or a coach who's trying to motivate you is like, if you keep doing it like that, you're going to break your neck or you're going to get hurt. Or they say something sort of like seriously make this correction, but it plants in your head. And then that can lead to negative imagery, meaning that you see things in your head, like you see that crash, or you see that potential fall, or you see that time when your friend peeled off the bar. And then that leads to these ruminations and these thoughts like, well, what if this happens? Or just worries, just kind of those worry thoughts. I call them the what ifs and the oh no's. They just start spinning around in there. And then even though your body can do all these great things, it's like you all of a sudden have this big dose of self-doubt that your parents are like, where's our aggressive kid? Like, who is this? What do you mean you're afraid? You're great. You're fine. But it doesn't feel fine because they've like come in touch with their mortality. So the second reason why you'll see a drop in confidence in one of these, superstar little athletes, or even, like regular athletes like me, I wasn't like the most talented kid. Social threats, especially around this age. It's always that like 10, 11, 12, where their social lives are changing, their brains are changing, and there are some major threats. And again, like fear and confidence are opposites. So you start to have all these new fears that you never had before, like fear of missing out, fear of being left behind, fear of not making the team, or fear of being left out, or disappointing people and then being excluded or shunned, or it's like you all of a sudden are like, oh, Adam and Eve moment, there are other people in this world and they might not like me and they might be better than me, and I don't know if I can trust them. Or as you go from this 7, 8-year-old, like, woohoo, I love everybody, let's have fun. And then you're like, wait a second, you might get on the team and I might not. Wait, you're my best friend, but you're my biggest competition. And those social threats can make you start to feel like there is pressure. I have to be great, because if I'm not great, I'll be abandoned, or people won't like me, or I'll disappoint people, or everyone will know that my little sister's better than me, or, whatever it is. But those social threats, they affect the brain and they affect your behavior. And if your brain goes, oh, there's a threat to my safety, then it's going to make you hesitate and it's going to make you sort of back off. So the third reason why your confidence might drop is related to expectations. So a lot of the time when an athlete has had a really good run, like they're, level 4 state champion, and they're kind of cruising through those lower levels, just like nailing it, killing it, doing a great job. Then all of a sudden the coach is like, hey, that kid you got on your team, she should be amazing. She's going to be so good. She should be winning this year. And the kid hears that and goes, okay, social threats. Oh my gosh, I really hope I don't let them down. And they have this really high bar set, which makes them feel like I need to be perfect. And I have seen, especially in like figure skaters, if you come off a really great season, a lot of the time that's when the big performance anxiety comes up. And same with gymnasts, same with swimmers. I mean, I've seen this with a lot of different sports where you're coming off a great season, and instead of being like, woohoo, let's get back to like having fun and competing, instead you're like, don't screw it up, don't screw it up, don't screw it up, don't screw it up. And you have more of those what ifs and those oh no's. And then your goals, because your goals were, like, whatever, I just want to have a good time. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I medaled, or I podiumed, or this is cool. The next season you go in and you're like, if I am going to try to do that well in this new level, oh boy, I'm overwhelmed. And so those getting ahead of yourself too much and getting out of the fun can really start to feel overwhelming. And a lot of the performance anxiety that I see comes after a really solid season. The fourth and final of the top 4 reasons, hopefully you guys can hear me. I know last week I was on live and just chatting away to myself for 7 minutes. But anyway, the fourth one is negativity. And that negativity typically comes from within for the young athlete, but also can come from outside, from coaching, from parents, from teammates, drama. And it's sort of this tendency to start focusing on problems and lose sight of your successes. So they'll have this fear of like, well, maybe I'm not good enough after all, because these people are better than me and these expectations are so high and I don't think I can reach them. And what if I fall? And then it just creates this whole downward spiral of negativity that can make an athlete feel like, I feel like I'm an imposter. Like, why am I even on this team? I'm not that good. Or I've seen athletes their senior year where they've already been, committed to a college, and they're like, should I even be going to this college? I am not good enough for that. Why did they give me a scholarship? This doesn't make any sense. And that negativity starts to take over, and they start to shine their spotlight on all the reasons why not, rather than all the reasons why. Whereas when they first start, they're like, woohoo, this is great. Oh my gosh, I love this coach, or this team is so fun, or this game is amazing. And then they start to feel like, oh no, I'm going to let people down. So those are the main reasons. And if you can relate, then, let me know in the comments. These are pretty much all the common reasons that I see people coming to me. So here's the good news. That athlete that you were, or that your kid was, that exists, they're still there. They're still inside. It's just that it's been kind of mucked up. It's like you're this, making this up on the spot here. It's like you're this like shiny little crystal ball, and you just got all mucked on, and now you look like a ball of mud, but there's still this beautiful crystal inside. You just have to get the mud off the top. So knowing that is the first step. That confident you and everything it took for you to feel that way and play that way and perform that way is it's so much inside of you. Plus, life experience and more training. So there is a possibility that you can be even better than that kid that you used to be. But we have to unearth it. We have to break through the fears and get in touch with who you really are. So I am going to do a challenge. It's sort of like a back to school challenge. It's free. It's open to the public meaning anyone who's an athlete in the preteen or teen age. And we are going to do a week of free training on how to build confidence. So we are going to be hacking into all of that stuff, dealing with the negativity, dealing with the expectations, figuring out basically how you got to be who you were when you were on your winning streak, and how do we get back to it? Now, this is not just for people who feel like, oh, I'm in a slump, I'm not confident. This is for anybody who wants to turbocharge their confidence. So what we're going to do, and I'll tell you more about it. If you want more info, you can join our free Facebook group. That is the Sport Confidence Accelerator if you're not already in there. And we are going to do a little tidbit every single day for 7 days that will help you to unmuck and get you back to who you really are and get you in touch with that person inside of you that is not run by fear, but that can tap into the confidence that exists within them. So if you want to sign up, I put the link in this thing. I think it's happy without the A, hppy.link/superhero. Okay, one more time, hppy.link/superhero. Sign up for the free challenge and invite your friends. I would love to have your whole team, or last time we did this, we maxed out our Zoom room. So I'm getting the super huge Zoom room. So we have room for everybody. Invite your team, invite your friends, anybody who plays sports and is between the ages of like 9 and 18, play with us. It'll be fun. If you have questions, reach out, and I will see you again soon.